Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk. Tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Geats, episode 17. Enter the Big Brother. Wow, everyone. This new era of the DGP just went into another level because now they're adding the word reality into this season, because not only that I mentioned it's gonna be WWE Hunger Games, now they added Big Brother into the situation now, and it's gonna be very interesting, and I believe it's gonna be a lot of fun. I wonder if Yuya is trying to make it in a legit reality show. I don't think so, because as we all know, for those who have seen reality shows, not only that the whole area is full with hidden cameras, and aside from people living together, there's also a room where contestants can vent about their missions, situations, and especially, talking smack about their roommates. That hasn't happened yet, and I don't think Yuya is gonna add a secret room and have the writers vent about other writers. This is not, this is not really Big Brother. They're not treating this as a Hell's Kitchen type of thing, but it feels that way because already seeds are being planted here. Already Tsumuri announced that the writers are not allowed to return home, at least until the tournament is over. So right now they're living at the waiting lounge. The new game master has arrived. He has announced too that there's going to be hidden cameras. There's a spy within the ranks, and if the spy remains, uncaptured, he or she takes the crown automatically, I assume. Either they have a huge advantage of finding the crown, or this is just an instant win in case no writer discovers who the spy is. So they added that little twist in there. What else? Michinaga, he's awake. He's not officially part of the evil greenhouse man's ranks yet. However, I believe there's going to be seeds planted soon. No, there's a pun. There's a pun there, guys. And Keiwa, my boy Keiwa, he is treated like an outcast. He is not part of the cool kids club. He in a good way is the underdog, and by the time the final round begins, I feel like the audience will get in the back of Keiwa and his percentage will go through the roof, because right now he's not winning the crowd. In WWE just wrestling terms, if Keiwa were to jump in and tries to rescue Ace from the evil Squidwards, it's like unfortunately I have to use this, but it's a perfect example. It's like Hikaru running to make the save, him grabbing the demon's driver and transforming into over demons, and you assume if there was an audience, the crowd would go ballistic. But in that case, you could hear nothing but a pin drop. Nothing but a pin drop. And it's like one of those death nails that a wrestler can get, because if a wrestler does not get any reaction whatsoever, their career in that promotion may be over. Well, not automatically you get fired, but if you can't win the crowd, then you're pretty much dead at that point. And right now, Keiwa is not winning the crowd so far. Hence the 1% that happened at the very end. However, it's more to it than that, of course. But right now, in terms of winning over the crowd, Keiwa is not cutting it. So there's a new way of winning this tournament now. Now the whole title of God of Desire is gone. Now it's about getting the crown of destiny. You still get your wish, granted, but also you might get a crown. Either way, the same rules apply. We have new writers, and another added twist is that Sumori in the new Game Master didn't go around the world or just Japan in general picking the anointed. They're not going through this gauntlet again. They're gonna stick to the five writers only. That's new. And apparently, Ace knows those two from previous tournaments. So let's jump into it, shall we? Since I'm already into it. So we get to the Temple of Desire. Every single writer, at least 4 of them, have their opening intros. They have their picture, their statistics, like basic information. And you hear the crowd clapping. You see all these cameras floating around the temple. Ace, Neon, and the 2 new writers, Daichi and Sae, are they're doing their thing, saying hi to the fans, to the camera. And then Sumori appears, telling them, hey, welcome to the new and improved DGP. Let's see, let me check my notes if I miss anything. The DGP. Let's see. Ace pretty much knows who Daichi and Sae are, because those 3 met in past tournaments. And then Sumori comes in and say, hey, welcome you 5 to the DGP, and then here comes Neon. And wait a minute, 5? I only see 4. And she ends up counting the 4 within their circle. And I have a question for you guys. How come she never mentions Keiwa by name, especially when they've been through so much together? I thought it was weird when she never mentions him at all, because when Sumori says, okay, you 5 are going to be our primary writers for this tournament, and then Neon was like, wait a minute, 5? She never says, okay, 5, where is Keiwa? No, she just like counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the camera shifts to Keiwa, and Keiwa, my boy, he never had an entrance. He never had that package that everybody else have gotten, and he's just like, wait a minute, what about me? And then Sumuri just cuts him off. Like, you're not important, Keiwa. So already it's like Keiwa may have good luck in terms of getting buckles, but in this case, like, all these people, maybe the audience themselves just sees Keiwa as who that? Who that? These four are like great players, they're good at what they do, but this kid, like, who is this kid? Like, who that? Keiwa's gonna have a very it's gonna have a very bad time dealing with these new changes, and I feel like Keiwa is gonna turn into comedy father. I hope not. I hope not. He's a fan favorite, but I guess Yuya placed him in that position to have more people like be on his side. He's gonna win him over. He needs to earn the crowd, and that's the reason why I think Yuya placed him in that awkward situation. And also, we need comedy, so yeah. Hopefully, they don't put Keiwa in weird situations. So we move to the city. Apparently, the name of this game, round 1, is the Academy game, and the writer's job is to protect the city from the Squidward troublemakers, the Yankees, and defeat the principal. Once they defeat the principal, the round is over. And so they get their boxes with their buckles, they transform, and they do their thing. However, by the end of it, Sae and Daichi, they're not feeling Neon and Keiwa, because there's a scene where Keiwa was attacking a squid, but Sae just interferes and defeats the squid. And then you have Daichi, using his ability to trap the squids in a sandbox, but Neon was caught in the crossfire, so she got stuck in the sand. So already it's a rough start already. So we head back to the waiting lounge, and then Sumuri announces that the 5 will be living there from now on. Everybody was like, wait a minute, this is not part of the plan, this is not the deal, I want to go home, I don't want to be living here, especially among all these other writers here. But unfortunately, here comes the game master, the new one, tells them it's not an option, you're staying here whether you like it or not. Only by death or just quitting, you'll be only by death and quitting you can leave, but not, you're gonna be living here. Not only that, all the room itself is full of hidden cameras too. And then we get to be introduced to the new game master named Chiram, and he is very opposite to a previous game master that we all know and loathe. You can tell with his gestures, his mannerisms, and my god, he's going to be quite a character, whether it's a phase or not, because like, you can't trust these people in the DGP because they all have a hidden agenda. We all assume Gilary was, a butler. He looked like to be someone you can trust, but it turns out that he was the game master, and he just made things personal, changed the rules to suit him in order for the greater good, that sort of thing. So we don't know how Chiram is and his intentions are for right now. But right now he is a little bit on the cuckoo side, and he said that they would be living in the waiting lounge from now on. And mind you, the DGP is being sponsored by rich people. How come they cannot have their own rooms? And they could still have their hidden cameras, I guess. I mean, if you really want to turn this into a legit game reality show, give them their own rooms, and also a secret room so they can vet and talk smack about other writers. That would be so funny if they added that, but I don't think Yuya will want that. He doesn't want this season to turn into an actual reality show, like an actual Office to a Hell's Kitchen type of way. So that's been announced, and let me check my notes here. Yes. Another added twist is that Chiran has announced that one of the 5 is actually a spy or a disaster, and in order to, and as you know, these type of spies, they're either there to jeopardize someone in order to get ahead of the game, and also get to know their other people's secrets and that sort of thing. So they're gonna have that in this game, and whoever is the spy and remains to be anonymous, they get the crown. I'm not sure if it's automatically or they get an advantage to find the crown or something. But I get the feeling that if I were the spy and remain hidden for the longest time until the final round, that means I automatically win the crown. So I think it is that route. So yeah, and already Daichi, being the smart guy of the bunch, is already planting the seeds of distrust and doubt within the group already. Let me see. So yes, Kamen Rider Geats has been turned into Big Brother. Now we move on to Michinaga. He wakes up in the evil greenhouse of doom. He gets greeted by the evil greenhouse man. We don't really get much interaction just yet, only that the evil greenhouse man knows of Michinaga's desire, and he's already trying to tempt him to turn into the dark side, I guess. So me moved to Keiwa calling his sister and telling her that, hey, I will be out of town at a friend's house. I don't know how long I will be gone, but yeah, don't forget to lock up after you leave. and Sarah was like, is this like you have a new girlfriend or something? And it's funny because Keiwa just turns around and stares at Sumuri, and she's just give him the axe. Is like, no, I already have this brotherly love situation with Ace. I don't need a boyfriend. Like, nope. And then after that's done, Keiwa, again getting the short end of the stick, he sees the waiting lounge turn into marked territories, because you see the girls having their own territory marked up already on their side. You have Daichi in his tent, like he was going on a camping trip or something. He has his own spot. And then you have Ace with, this barrier with his logo sticking on that barrier. He's both Daichi and Ace is taking up most of the space, and Keiwa is left with nothing. And it's funny because after discovering, like, after reading the room, right, he realizes that there's isn't any space left for him to camp out, so he assumes that Ace is in the space, so he just asks, "Hey Ace," with his whining, crying tone, that, "Hey, can I just, live on your side, Can you share your space with me?" Ace was not present when that happens because Daichi tells everybody that Ace is not here right now. Apparently, he is on a secret mission, already planting the seeds of distrust within the group, saying that, well, Ace could be the disaster. He could be the spy. And all the while, we entered into the scene where we get to see Gene for the first time, and he announces to Ace that, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. I've always been a fan of yours. I'll be rooting for you, and hopefully you win hopefully you win the crown, that sort of thing. But this is the weird part here. After he says all that, he sticks out his hand in friendship. Ace doesn't take it right away, knowing Ace, like, I don't think I can trust this guy, and all that shit. With people working in the DGP have their hidden agenda, so he's the type of person that he doesn't like be all trusting. Unlike Keiwa, if Keiwa was in that position, he will assume that he's a good guy and he's a fan, and everything is hunky-dory. But not Ace. Ace is very cautious here, but ultimately he shook Gene's hand. However, after shaking his hand, he ends up pulling Ace's arm, and we have this brief moment where, okay, and I quote, Gene said, "I wish you the best." And hold on, let me get this right. So, okay, let me get this right. So, I wish you the best in unraveling who you are and why you exist. Okay, guys, this is you and me in a bar just having this talk, right? What the hell does that even mean? What does that... seriously, if I were a fan of yours, right? I shook your hand. Then all of a sudden, just do the same thing that Gene did, and just whisper in your ear, saying those things. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I'm confused. What do you mean by that? Are you actually a fan of mine? Or are you just pretending to be one in order to, maybe you're wishing for my demise or something? To unravel who you are and why you exist. Almost hinting that he knows something about Ace. It's hinting at something. We don't know what it is because obviously it's too early. But again, another seed planted. Now back to the campsite. It's no longer a waiting lounge. The waiting lounge it's just turned into another campsite. So we have Sae, Neon, and Keiwa playing goldfish while Daichi is reading his book, and now we get to know the writer's wishes. Neon's and Keiwa's remain the same. Sae's wish is to maintain her her athletic abilities, to maintain her athletic abilities regardless how she ages. So if she's like 80 years old, she could still move around as she was back at her 20s. So she wants to preserve her athletic abilities. Now, with Daichi, I have questions for you, buddy, because your wish is to obtain humanity's memories. Okay. Are you a follower of Hermaeus Mora? Are you Helma Mora himself? Mora, if I go back to Apocrypha, you and I need to have a talk here. He wants to obtain humanity's memories. And everybody in that group obviously like, what? And he's after knowledge. He's after knowledge. He craves knowledge. So, guys, do you think Daichi is Hermaeus Mora in disguise? Because already we have the super fan from Oblivion, and now we have a Daedric Lord disguised as a Kamen Rider to obtain humanity's secrets. Already references. Now, speaking of Ace, he comes in after meeting Jean, and he tells everybody his new wish. He wants to be a game master. Now, Kamen Rider is very infamous of being very predictable. And I told you guys in past reviews, in past Riderpiece Theaters, that this can go two ways for Ace. Either he lives out his life with his mom and have at least a normal life, still be a superstar, all that. The DGP is no more. He is living the best life he can be, with his mom. The second road he could take is take over the DGP as the new game master. And already, it's unfolding right before my eyes that my theory of Ace being the game master is starting to come true. And I wish Kamen Rider wasn't that predictable, but it is what it is, I guess. So let's see. We move on to Nimaru. Nimaru is at a random ramen stand, and his assistant is questioning his motives. For one thing, he allowed his wish to be approved, and she asked him, why did you approve of his wish? And again, everybody has a hidden agenda. His agenda is to keep an eye on Ace. He knows Ace is special. He knows that he can, change an outcome of a situation. He is, you could say, OP, I guess. And he wants to keep an eye on Ace. And also this thing where he mentions he wants to know why he assumes that Mitsume is Ace's mom. Why does Ace believes she is his mom? So he is questioning Ace's motives here. He wants to know why. He even said that he could be using her as a front, like easy lying, is he up to his old tricks again? That's the number one question. I am starting to question it myself, because Ace has been infamous of lying and tricking people. However, it wouldn't make any sense for him to be lying when he is alone with his golden Roman coin, remembering the last image of his mom, and trying and telling Neon, the only person he could open up to and reveal what he wants out of this tournament. And why go through that if it's a lie? where is this lie? You know, I believe Ace's motives are legit. I don't think he is using that to get something greater than, oh, I want to find my mom. No, that's just a front. I want something else. I don't think so. I don't think so. But it would be a nice twist. I don't know how Yuya is gonna spin this, but I don't know. But I believe his intentions, his motives are true. So we move on to yes. So we move on back to the city. Tsumuri has discovered the school that housed, the student Squidwards. So she unleashes the five. They transform. They storm into the school. Sae, tried to find, the principal's office. Side note, she's very good at using the zombie buckle. She's very good. I believe she is a better user than Michinaga, but don't tell him I said that. She's very good at using that buckle. So she couldn't find the office. And then we get into the scene where, as the riders were fighting in the halls, we get to see one Squidward just at a desk studying as the riders and the other squids are fighting each other, and I find it so hilarious. And poor Keiwa, it's like, at first he was in awe because I'm like, wow, like this guy is studying, like he acts normal and all that, but Ace pretty much burst his bubble like, yeah, it's nice, but he's still a monster, so he needs to be destroyed. But prior to that, Daichi notices this student, and he directed Ace to attack him. And then his calculations were correct, because apparently if you destroy the student Squidward, a secret mission is accomplished. In this case, we get a new buckle, and it looked like, the buckle used from the movie. And I believe it's called, I could be wrong, the Giga, the giant blaster, I believe. The writing in the subs are, Gigant blaster buckle. And Ace, uses it. The form looks great. And he figured out, okay, the principal is not here. There's no office for him. So he figured, okay, let's build one. So he does build one in that room, in that classroom. And then we get to this cutscene where the principal in this suit just walks around with a fan, just like fanning himself, goes inside the newly built principal's office. He just sits there for a moment, and then you see this wall, and you see 4 riders just popping out their heads up and checking to see if that's the principal. And I find it to be funny. And then all of a sudden, before they pounce, Sae just like, nah, I'm gonna be the one to do it. She just goes in there, attacks the principal, takes him outside the window, outside the building. The riders goes down to meet her. All of a sudden they get greeted by the student Squidwards, and Neil was like, man, these Squidwards really love their principal. And so fast forward, they have their fight. And then Ace destroys the principal. Round 1 is over, and it's done. However, you assume that after Ace defeats the boss for this week, he's ahead, as usual. Not the case here, because everything has changed. It used to be, okay, the most scores, the most points you get, you you win the round, you're ahead, that's it, and the person with the least points gets eliminated. That's no longer the case. Now the scores is based on audience approval rating. There's no elimination as of right now. So all 5 contestants are pretty much safe for now, unless Sumuri herself said this is a elimination round. So whoever gets the least, then they get, eliminated. So I don't think eliminations are included in this new era of the DGP. So the principal has been found. Ace destroys it. However, the score is based on approval rates. As of right now, Daichi is at 40%, Sae 30%, Ace 20%, Neon 9%, and Keiwa with a whopping 1%. And again, his expressions, his reactions are so funny. The actor who is Keiwa, you're good. I feel sorry for you, man. You have a tough road ahead of you, but I believe in you. I do believe in you. I do. So the player with the highest approval rating by the end of the final round will win the crown. So it doesn't matter if Ace gets to destroy the final boss. At the end of the day, the audience who are watching this show will vote which writer is best, As of this week is Daichi, and things can change, obviously. So Ace may lose this tournament, but I doubt it, because you know how Ace is. He's always 3 steps ahead of his opponent. So we have to, and Ace is a crowd pleaser, so he will defeat Daichi in the ratings next week. Other than that, the last scene of this episode, we get to witness the new plant monster, and Michinaga is in shock because we get to see who is this new plant monster, and it's the old white bear from the first episode. If you remember, Michinaga was partnered with him until he got killed by the final boss. And you see him all plant veiny and all that, and he's going to be a major threat against the Riders. So that's the end of this episode, guys. What do you guys think of it? Like I said from the beginning, if I haven't already, this is like turning into like the writer edition of a gaming reality show, almost like The Office, but almost like The Office and Hell's Kitchen without the shouting and the cussing, and without the secret room and just ranting and all that stuff. Without that. However, we still have, there's hidden cameras around this room. We're gonna see through what's going on. We're gonna know all the writer's secrets, who is gonna be the spy. So it's WWE Hunger Games plus Big Brother in all 3. So it's gonna be very fun. I hope that Yuya will add that secret room, because it would be so funny to see Keiwa just coming in and out of that room multiple times and just be crying and be like, be that person in that room just whining and complaining. He's not a whiner and complainer, obviously, but just to see him being put in that position that the audience does not like Keiwa right now due to that. And that 1% proves that not many people are on that Keiwa train. So he needs to do like really do something to get the crowd on his side, because that's the only way he can win and be ahead of the game. Because if it's going to be 4 rounds, it's a tough hill to conquer. But I believe in you, Keiwa. I really do. I really do. Um, but it's a great episode, a great first episode of the brand new year. Um, Overall, what are your thoughts? What do you think of episode 17? Do you like it? Do you like the new changes that they added in, or you dislike the episode? If so, what are the changes? If you were the writer, if you had the opportunity to change this episode to fix whatever needs to be fixed, what would you do? Did I miss anything? That's another important thing, because again, even though with my notes, I tend to miss a couple of things. Let's see. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. Please give a like if you like it, and please subscribe because it helps. And if you dislike this episode, thank you so much for listening to the very end. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that the new year will give you lots of blessings and, accomplishments, and just overall, you know, you know, good vibes, good vibes and all that good stuff. Man, I'm bad at this. Oh, thank you so much for sticking around. And let's see how Big Brother Kamen Rider is gonna do, because this is something I think has never done before, and I believe they're gonna have so much fun. I believe the cast is having a blast, and I think we're gonna see it through on screen. So yeah, I believe they're having fun. All right, guys. Also, now with the newly revived White Bear Rider has returned, do you think that past writers from past DGPs will make their appearance? Do you think that evil Monokuma will make a triumphant return? I believe so. He's gonna make a return, and just like the White Bear Rider, I believe he is going to be a major threat, aside from Michinaga, of course. It just all depends. Like right now, Michinaga is like, he doesn't know where he's at, and like he doesn't know what to do. He just woke up from after being blasted by the final boss. So right now he's in purgatory, and we'll see what the evil greenhouse man will want him to do. We'll see. Alright, guys, I'm starting to ramble, so I gotta go. Thank you so much again. I'll see you next Sunday, and I'll see you all on the other side of oblivion. Johnny!